Okay. So I got the idea to make a list of class objects because I read that the way the reader works in the CSV import is that it likes to put stuff in dictionaries or objects or lists. So this is just my class giving it the name, age, breed, a method to print the sentence we're looking for, input, and my empty list, and my try except. So we're opening the file location based on the input of the user. If it's not valid, then we printed this out here. If it is valid, it runs through it, opens the CSV file. This line right here, Adam helped me out, and that just skips the first line so we don't get the name, age, and breed inputs. Then we put the CSV through the reader into a variable called data. This is the CSV variable name. And this delimiter value, I found out that if you put the comma here, it'll get rid of the comma that's in the text file, which worked. The only issue I'm having right now is that it keeps the space right here afterwards.
So try putting comma space.
I did, and it's throwing issues at me because it's just printing out.
It might be because the first line doesn't have any spaces.
Yeah, it's just printing out here. It might be.
Can you try editing the dogs CSV one more time? And then put, okay, so there's a space.
I don't know if it matters. I know that Carter helped me out with like the skip initial space equals true, if that applies. Mine's using dict reader, just the reader, but I don't know if that will apply to this one.
Yeah, that could work. There is also a keyword, or I think it's a method called strip. You're able to get rid of trailing and preceding spaces, new line characters, just all of that. It skips it on its own. So I think you'd be able to do like on line 20, row at 0 dot strip. Try that.
Wait, actually, yeah. Dot strip.
Yeah, and you should be able to yeah, so try just that and see if it gets rid of the spaces.
Oh, hold up, sorry, this was my way of fixing it.
Oh. Okay, so it's still adding. That's for dogs. Yeah, try for the second and
yeah, it worked there.
okay, so yeah, the strip keyword usually gets rid of pictures. Yeah.
Cool.
There's
I have a question. Is there a more elegant way to, on row 20, there's added 3 rows, and there are 3 columns in the CSV table or file. Is there a way to say add? And are those really rows or are they columns?
These are rows. And then the columns are the 0, 1, and 2.
So how many records are in? So there's 3 records in the CSV.
So try between 19 and 20, try row dot strip. I'm not sure if you can apply it to a list.
Okay.
And sorry, I didn't intend to say your code is not elegant as much as, is there a different way to do that that's not quite so verbose?
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the same way. It does not work because it didn't show up as a method, or it didn't color it as a, I mean, it might try it. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so. Oh. So that is one of the issues with try except is if any other error happens, you're still going to get that same except error.
Mhm.
So yeah, did you try it again?
Yeah, it went to the accept.
Yeah, try it one more time because there was an extra parenthesis, right, that you deleted, or no? No, it still didn't. Yeah, so line 20 is causing the error.
So it seems like it would have to be some mechanism to do that because you might not know how many rows are in your data set.
Yeah, so in the reader, there's more in the docs for like CSV reader. There should be a like some sort of flag that you're able to add. Let me see. Line 18. Can you put comma at the yeah?
Here?
Inside the parenthesis, and just to see whatever is next. So quote, double quote.
Skip initial space.
Yeah. Try that.
I just type that out. Oh yeah.
Skip initial space equals true. Yep.
And should I remove the strips?
Mhm.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of built-in functions. Whenever in doubt, just look up the documentation, Google it, and you'll find somehow to make it work with the libraries that we're using.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so for each row in your data, so the CSV reader is putting everything in data. What can you print out what type row and data are? You might actually need to print them above 18, above 19, I mean.
It's right here.
Yeah, just print type of data. Yeah, row is not defined until.
It is a class CSV reader.
Okay. So something that that exists is dict reader. So it reads it as a dictionary and it puts it in.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So it's in the documentation also. Let me pull up the thing to give it to you. Yeah, if you just do this, where's the chat? Oh, Chris already has it in there. So this allows you to use the actual keys like Chris was saying, instead of having to put 0, 1, and 2.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And how do I do that exactly? Do I do it here, .dict reader?
No, instead of reader, just replace
Oh,
that.
here,
with,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
And so now, if you print out the type of data, it should be a dictionary. I think, unless there's like a specific CSV reader dictionary.
Is this gonna throw issues right now?
Well, let's find out. It'll at least get to our line of code that we need.
Yeah. All right. So it is a CSV dict reader class.
Okay. So regardless, let's print out what row is, not the type of, but print it on, yeah. And let's see what's. You might need to put it above that. Yeah, great. For some reason, I'm not seeing the bottom of the screen. Okay, there we go. So it's a dictionary that has name, husky, corgi. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah. So I think with the dict reader, you don't need to do next. So line 17, try commenting that one out. So what the dictionary reader does, it takes the first line, which has the column names, and it uses that as your keys. So that's why the other one was a little weird. Yeah, it took the first record and it made it the names for the columns. So now you're able to access row at name, row at age, row at breed.
And I can see where that would be a little easier, saying name instead of just assuming the first index is name.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And also you can use it like without knowing where in the order of the columns it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Okay, so how are you instantiating? So you're doing my animal list dot append, and you're appending a new animal that you're creating.
Right.
Okay. So let's say you don't know how many columns your CSV file is going to be at any given point.
Okay.
What could be something that you would do for the arguments? So the init statement, because you're sending in name, age, breed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's something that might be?
Can you pass in args?
You can.
You can do 4 keys in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, either. So args would work.
Would args work better, or does that not make a key value pair in the class?
So with that, you might actually want to use keyword args, like the star.
Yeah.
Let's actually see what happens with that. If you want, you can create a new class so you don't edit your code if you want. I don't know.
But I have it uploaded on GitHub already.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So do you want me to add something else here and see what happens?
So yeah, if you want, actually. And don't forget the first one.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So now, line 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't create anything yet, though, because we're printing out.
Right. We haven't assigned it yet. It's just printing.
Yeah. But it pulled it, which is great. Yeah. So line 21. Let's edit that one a little bit to.
Yeah. So I should make this a dictionary now, right?
You can actually keep it as a list if you like. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're gonna do a dictionary, you would need a key for each one. So the one thing that I could see using a dictionary would be helpful for is if you wanted to hold all the animals in one place, but you wanted to separate them by type. So cats, dogs. The key could be cats, and then you have like a list of cats, and then the second key in that dictionary could be dogs, and same.
Got it. Okay. So let me actually put that back.
So you added the keyword args thing.
Yeah.
So let's try doing comma, and then row. So just send in the entire row and let's see if we can actually pull it in like that. And then in the init statement, we can try printing it out.
Do I need to change this back to reader?
No, the dictionary reader should be good.
Yeah.
But what?
You have to change the 0, 1, 2 to the keys.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, hey, yeah, I'll review the keyword args tonight just to get back in touch with it. But if you have fewer arguments that are passed to that animal class, will it error out if you, or can you just capture, self comma keyword args for like ever?
If you had, so here we're specifying that we want 4 arguments, so name, age, breed, keyword args. So if you put less than those 4, then it will give it an error. Keyword args can be however many, because it's like just a dictionary.
Okay.
I've not done this one yet, but how do you dynamically retrieve the column headings or the columns?
That will be the first line of the thing. I think there should be a function for that. Let me see.
Row, name, age. And so why are they calling those rows instead of columns?
Because they are rows. So if you go to this CSV real quick, so it's taking one row at a time. It takes the first row, that will be the column names, and then it takes the second row and third and fourth, and then that's why it's looping through rows. And each dictionary is one row, which is why it assigns a column name to each attribute that is assigned to it. Does that make sense?
Somewhat.
So it's taking, it reads in name, age, breed, and attitude, and it knows that that is the header. So it is going to use those 4 as the keywords, or sorry, the keys for whatever value each row holds. So we know that in the first row, Fido is a name. So it's attaching it to whatever that column is. So row here is correct because it's going one row by one row. It's reading the CSV file that way. And it happens even when you're reading regular files, not just the CSV ones. It reads it one row at a time.
So if you go back to the code though, how can you avoid having to key in all of line 21 and simply retrieve more dynamically the headers?
Could we just use
Or-
args instead of putting any?
What was the last thing you said? Sorry.
Could we just keep quargs up here and just delete all of this and it'll pass itself?
That's what I'm hoping for. So that's why we were gonna test out the keyword args.
Okay.
And see if that gives us the information that we need, and then we can just assign it inside. But Jim, to answer your question, there is so row in data, that's the entire dictionary. That means if we do
That's not right.
there, yeah, I'll look it up. There is a way to do it.
And it wouldn't be the keyword args on line 21 there after animals?
Yes, so where it says just row, that is what we're trying to send into keyword args. So if keyword args, if we can print it out like on line 6 and see what we're actually getting and how we can access it. Actually, if you can just delete the first 3 arguments, yeah. And then at the top, delete the 3 names and just comment out the attributes at this point. Okay, and then print. Just print keyword args somewhere. Line 8, maybe? Line 9, yeah. So this is a way so we can check that it actually gets sent in properly.
Okay. Should I run it now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What made it give an error?
Chris put something in chat that worked for him.
Let me see. Okay, so you had to actually specify. But if you just send it in, it should work. Did it not work the other way, Chris?
I was experimenting with a lot of ways, and by the way, I got the whole idea from this from Joe in the first place in terms of putting like objects into a list. So I kind of went a different direction, and then Carter and Stanley helped me a lot. But essentially, using the dict reader in the exact same way, you know, when you append, you can just specify, you know, the rows or the key values for each one. So that's why I put in the chat there just how I appended it to my inventory or list using the key values as because it converts it to a dictionary essentially.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh yeah, print sentence.
Trying to think. So we need to figure out what the error is coming from, and I'm assuming it's line 22.
I think it's line 11 since we
line 11
and 25 since we changed everything up here.
Oh, but it should have printed. If that was the case, it would have printed something. Like if you went into line 22 and and the init function worked, then it would have printed something.
Yeah.
So yeah, try it now. It might have been the print sentence. Yeah, it was not. It was the animals at row. I need to look this up real quick because I know I have it somewhere on my computer.
Do I need to change my for loop?
No.
Somehow?
I think you should be good with that. Does data have a .keys function? No. Okay, it's okay. So I'm just looking up one little thing. I think it's...
Do you have to add the asterisk before row in line 22?
Yeah, so this is, I finally found it. Okay. Asterisks and then DICT. And then put it in parentheses. So basically we have to cast it as a dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it
Doing
printed
it,
out.
yeah.
Oh,
Good.
okay, it's printing out everything twice, so we
Yeah.
got,
Oh, because we're printing quarks up here?
yeah. So now you should be able to grab the names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So something cool, you could either do it where it's quarks at name and at age and stuff like that. But at the top, instead of the keyword args, you can actually put multiple parameters, and it somehow takes it.
What do you mean?
So try putting instead of keyword args at the top, put name, age, and breed.
Next to the asterisk still?
No, without it.
Got it.
Yeah. I know this is a little confusing because we're showing like two different ways of doing something, but yeah. So try that
Okay.
and see if we get any issues. Okay, no issues. So you're just printing an empty line,
Yeah.
which is
Instead
good.
of printing it twice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one way of actually, that's another way of pulling arguments. So you can just send the entire dictionary, but you can pull in like the separate words. Try printing just name in 9. Let's see if that actually works. Yeah, there we go. So that's something cool that I discovered.
So is there a mechanism then to print? I expect it's gonna be just like one we've already seen, on line to remove line 12. And you won't enjoy the benefit of the descriptive formatting, but can you simply at print or a pound print? Okay, sorry. This is really just, we just have redone this in a different way then.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So instead of the print sentence, you can actually do the that string function that I showed you guys today that can override printing something. So you can just say print animal and it will print out whatever you say it needs to print out.
Okay.
Curious, why did we have to cast it to a dictionary on line 22? Didn't it, with the CSV dict reader, didn't it come in as a dictionary or?
So this one creates a specific dictionary that is like a like CSV package or library. It creates a specific type of dictionary that is like a CSV reader dictionary or something like that. So it's not a regular Python dictionary. So it would have some different rules. So that's why you just need to cast it, but it should fit right in. It'll convert.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Self.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I do that right with the string override?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
And so when you're trying to print it out, you can just say print animals.
Right here.
Mhm. With a lowercase a, because that's what you named it on line 23. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Which also just the point of like writing code. You would want to keep it kind of consistent with the English language. So you would say for animal in my animal list. Because
Okay.
you're only pulling one object, but yeah, that's a little nitpicky thing. Oh, okay. So you're supposed to return actually instead of print. That was my bad. I didn't look at it. Look at that part. Yeah.
Oh, it's printing all these names still.
Oh, oh, and we're not actually setting any attributes, so it's not
Yeah.
gonna find.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I was wondering I was doing that. Okay.
I would say that's one drawback with the try except is if anything happens within the try block, it'll
Mhm.
automatically give you whatever message you set, and it won't give you any other indication. So that kind of sucks.
There might be a way to print out the error message information, but I'm not sure. I was looking into it the other day.
Oh,
I found that you can like clarify an accept block to handle like a specific kind of error, because Python
You-
has an idea of error messages, but I didn't
you put the
find
parentheses.
the Python syntax for just printing out whatever the error message is.
Yeah,
I don't know
Do-
if anyone's seen that.
yeah. I thought you might need to put a parenthesis or something to do that. I'm not sure. But yeah, worth looking into and sharing it with the class.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
What are you looking for, Joe?
I feel like there's something wrong with this, but I don't know why or what.
So look at your initializing function.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That
Those are-
would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just looked at Stack Overflow, and it
Mhm.
had an example with a try except where after the except keyword, you put exception as, and then like a variable name, and then you can
Mm.
print that variable name, which would be the exception.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was just finding something too. This might be the easiest way to do it. I'm not sure about the as, that approach could also work too. Is that similar to what you saw? What I just threw in the Zoom chat?
Yeah, pretty much exactly, just without the as, but yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, this worked. So that's very cool. Do you want to try the accept thing on line 25?
Sure. Just
So
what do I have to write?
exception with yeah, exception and then E.
And the Python language has
We
its own a number of exception classes. I think
Mhm.
this is the most general purpose one, and we're saying assign this object instance of the exception class to the variable E.
It's giving an error, so maybe we should put as to try it out. Yeah.
I found the dangers of Stack Overflow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we need an error somewhere in here.
Comment out the lines 6 through 9.
6 through 9. Okay.
Oh, you need to put like pass or something under it. On line 10.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Questions? Did that clear up any CSV things for people?
Yeah, that's super helpful for me too.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing and yeah, coding. Anyone want to see anything else? Any questions?
Super rookie move here, but I missed the beginning portion of that. Can you just briefly explain what a CSV file really even is or does?
Yeah. So a CSV file is, let me share my screen real quick.
Great question, by the way, especially when there's acronyms, because there's a ton. Definitely, we'll do our best, but please ask.
So CSV stands for comma separated values. So it's pretty much just a regular file. So I can create a CSV file very easily. I can call it just example.csv. And as long as I have data separated by a comma, that's pretty much what a CSV is. So name and date. What's today? I don't know. October 10th. So that way you don't have to specify, you don't have to have like string stuff. It's just, it takes in whatever value from this comma to this comma, or from the beginning of the line to a comma, and it takes that as a value, and it just reads it in. So that is
Is
what,
everything considered?
Sorry.
Zainab. I was gonna say, is everything considered a string value while it's in a CSV, or?
I believe it takes in things as strings. There might be special cases where libraries auto what's the word? Not complete, but they typecast the things. If it sees a number, it might know that this is a digit and it will have it as an int. But usually it's strings.
That's a good question. I never thought about that. That would be my guess as well.
I think so, yeah.
Excel does this very well. You can quite easily create an Excel spreadsheet with strings and numbers and dates, and then export as a CSV. It exports it as a text, but when it retrieves it or imports it, it recognizes it quite capably as dates, numbers.
Yeah, definitely. There's also libraries to manipulate the Excel files with Python. I had to do that quite a bit during one of my job rotations. So yeah, I've seen quite a bit of Excel stuff with Python, and it's not that fun to work with, honestly. But
I was about to make a comment to that
Oh,
effect
I
that
know.
it didn't sound that fun. I too have done. I feel like everyone's first software engineering job, it's you always kind of pay some sort of dues, and it all often involves writing code to handle data transfer and moving data around, or dealing with trying to automate a manual process, which is like the least fun way to be a programmer,
Yeah.
though immensely useful to companies.
100%. Yeah. Made some people's jobs easier by putting like a few hours into a Python script. You'd be surprised how much manual work is out there that people just do day in, day out. They have to do it for like months on end.
If someone's got a phone not on silent, by the way, could they just change that to silent? I wasn't sure. Did other
That might
people hear
have
that
been,
beeping?
that might have, oh, I don't hear beeping.
Oh, maybe that's just me. In which case, I
I heard an
apologize.
email. It might have been my email, but yeah.
Chris, good point in the chat. Yes, those of you who served, I'm sure, are not surprised by manual processes of moving around large amounts of like boring data, essentially. There is the saying, like, as programmers, if you kind of take the attitude that I want to try and automate everything, including the boring stuff, it can be surprisingly difficult, but you learn so much along the way. And I can't say I've always like lived up to that motto, but it's a good motto to have.
Agreed.